Exposing for your actor damages your shot. You always think about your actor as the main source of the image, and he should be the brightest and the skin should be on the right levels, but that's not how most cinematographers that go for a darker, moodier look do it. So this is the first shot we're looking at, and this is some type of documentary style shooting fitness commercial. And as you can see, this shot actually looks pretty cool. But wait a minute, everything you learn probably here is wrong. Background has really bright highlights. She is totally underexposed, and normally you would say, okay, we have to brighten her up, give her a nice edge light and tone those textures in the background down. Wrong. When you start noticing it, most of the time when you are outside and have a bright background, the skin tones are actually really dark, and it's not the light levels you probably think they should be. The reason for it is the job as a cinematographer. We want always to create layers. And how we do it is not important. It has to always support the mood and the storytelling. This is our only job, but there's not right way that this has to be on this level, this has to be on this level. And this is what they do it in these kind of commercials. We have her pretty dark, then pretty bright backgrounds, and now we created levels. So if you put it the other way around, that she would be really bright, and this would be really dark, the shot would feel really different, because now this silly, tense atmosphere is gone. I will show you another example on this shot. As you can see, she's only lit with her phone, which gives her a little bit of texture in her face, but she actually is pretty much in a silhouette, and the background is pretty bright. And now again, we created levels. As you can see, we have dark, bright, dark. So the image still feels three-dimensional without one single actual light hitting her. And this is a trend you have to really consider and look more for, that you don't clip your highlights when you are inside a building or outside. Always try to drop this exposure and just add a little bit on your actor, that we still understand, okay, there is someone, this is what they're doing, but this is enough. If you try to overlight and overshoot the scenery, that when we normally would do now is we follow the light source we have here. So we put a big light here, give a huge edge light that wraps around her, and then with a bounce board would bounce it back so that the light would be sandwiching her, and then you will get great exposure on her. But now it really feels more like a commercial. It feels unreal, and that's not most of the time the feeling that you want. In this shot, it's the same. We set the camera, always put the camera down, then set your exposure for the room, not for your actor. The actor is at the beginning, not even in here. You place your camera and then you decide, okay, I want my highlights to be that bright. And then you put your actor in and then you look, okay, my actor getting this kind of exposure. Is it enough? Have to add light or have to remove light? What they probably done here, because it's so dark, it's probably all they did. But what you also can do is, when you don't like the contrast and make it even darker on her side, flag out the other side of her, so that where the camera stands, put a big neck fill, so that she removes the bounce from here, the side, that it doesn't go back on her, and you still get this nice slight light wrap around her. The thing is, you can actually see a light here in the reflection, but it could also be a ceiling light with a honeycomb grid on it. That's not that uncommon, but it looks really like someone they shot in here. But it can possibly be that they lit up a little bit on this wall, so it's just not this windows and everything else is black, so you can add a little bit of ambience. Also, to enhance this look, when you want the contrast a little bit less, you know the classical strategy, when you have a ceiling, just shoot a light into the ceiling, and now we get an even ambience on your scenery that you can control the contrast. But a better, more professional way to do it, if you have an aperture spot mount, so you put your light on a C-stand, aperture 600x, spot mount, and now you just control the light and put it on the place where your actor is. So you don't just blast the light, you build a small softbox with your light, and it just comes down on the area where your actor is. That's the most professional and controlled way you can do it. This is the most lit scene, I would say. We're really close to this big softbox of windows, but also, as I said before, these windows are pretty dark. most of you would probably brighten the whole image up and just put them close to not clipping. But you don't have to put it on close to not clipping. Go even beyond and make it almost 50% middle gray or something like that. It's not that extreme, this example, but you can really stylize the experiment with light levels. But still, with this type of exposure on her face, the shot still looks really dark because we are not adding here a backlight. You don't always have to do a backlight. Sometimes a big key light, some neck is completely enough to sell the realism and the intensity of the scene. Because when you put a backlight here, the next question would be, okay, where's this light coming from? Why do I need even a backlight? This is a documentary type of shooting, so it should feel like we are just in the moment, and it doesn't have to feel lit at all. You don't want the feeling of this scenery was lit in a documentary. Then we have this bathroom scene where we only have backlight, a soft backlight, something like Godox or Aladdin light, where it's really flat and really soft, and it just wraps around her body. Also, always try to hit everything with one light. It's not the time anymore for, okay, we only edge light one shoulder. No, try to create a nice silhouette around the person. And as you can see here, the main focus is actually way darker than the rest of it. But does it feel odd? No, because it really sells the emotion of the scenery. This is an intense scenery she's thinking. So she should be by herself, and we just have to see and feel what she is doing. Now let me remove everything here. Then we go for a little bit of color contrast. You can see the tiles here in the background are blue. They're probably lit a little bit blue, or the tiles are blue, which is always a great color contrast to our skin tones. So here in the wider shot, we stay with the same look. Top lights around here, just sitting here, slightly creating the shape of her body. And what I also done here is add a little bit of a warm highlight to enhance this color contrast look. We do this most of the time because if you do just blue lights or just orange lights, the scene becomes really fast, really monochromatic and washed out. So we need some different color to break the image. Otherwise, it sometimes looks too dull and this looks a bit more interesting, but it's optional. So if you enjoyed this video, I really would appreciate a subscription from you. My name is Mark Vanuli and I'll see you next time.